What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Runs on Diesel. And today we're going to be talking about America's pastime. Baseball is back and in full swing. No pun intended there. But I got a few topics we're going to be talking about. First off is Christian Yelich of the Milwaukee Brewers, coming off a hot 2018 season with a .323 batting average, 36 home runs, 110 RBIs. And he's continuing where he left off. Home running in 4 straight games, going yard in 4 straight games to start the season. 6th player in MLB history to do that. And it's looking like he doesn't want to let go of this NL MVP award that he won last year. And I don't think he will. I mean, if he continues what he did last year, if he continues to have this hot bat, he'll definitely win it again. So it's great to see a player continuing where he left off from last year, because it's real hard to do that. When you're off from baseball for about 3 months, in the off season, it's very hard to just, continue to where you left off. Next topic is Craig Kimbrel, former closer of the Boston Red Sox. Is he going to resign in Boston? Is he going to go somewhere else? There's no real question of it. He had 42 saves last year for the Red Sox. A very big key contributed to this Red Sox team last year. Is he going to resign with them? It's looking like he's not going to resign with them and he's going to go somewhere else. But arguably one of the league's best closers. So we'll see what happens. It's just too early to, I would love to see Kimbrel be somewhere and give his ability to a team that really could use his closing ability. And right now, it's really the Red Sox because they have 2 guys combining to close. But anyways, will we see, big question today is, will we see Tim Tebow in the show this year? And it's looking to be a very good possibility. They bumped him up from AA to AAA. Very good hot streak last year in AA. .273 batting average, 6 home runs in 84 games before he got hurt. He had like a 16-game hitting streak at the time. Was an all-star in one of the AA for the AA. I think it was the East League of the AA. But he has upside potential, and I would love to see him. He would be playing for the Mets if he got called up to the show, but right now he's in AAA, but he's got to continue where he left off, just like Christian Yelich. He's got to continue where he left off. I would love to see, I think a lot of people would love to see Tebow make it to the show and see how he produces for the Mets, but, he's got to continue where he left off first. So, next is our first impressions. Obviously, it's way too early to be talking about first impressions of the baseball season. Here we are, only 6-7 games a week into the season. But I have a couple of first impressions on some teams. And first up is the Boston Red Sox, obviously, 2-6, just losing 7-3 earlier today to Oakland. Oakland took 3 out of 4 in this series. And the big question is the starting rotation. Eventually, the starting rotation will get on point. Chris Sale not having a good first start of the season. Evaldi, Porcello, David Price. The first round of the starting rotation was not good. Evaldi and Chris Sale had had decent starts in their last starts here. For the Red Sox in terms of starting pitching, but this pitching staff will get it together. It's just too early to be tossing in the towel for them. So it's a long season, 162 games, which I still think is too long for them to be playing baseball. But second up is the Houston Astros, 2-5. Even though they're 2-5, they're still a threat in the American League. Because, they have great bats. You got Altuve, you got Correa, you got all sorts of good bats on this team. Their pitching staff is great. Like I said, another thing where it's way too early to be assuming that this team is, they're struggling right now, but that doesn't mean they're going to be struggling later. They'll catch a hot streak, just like the Red Sox. They'll catch a hot streak, and everyone will be like, oh, Not surprised by that. But the one thing I love about Houston Astros is Justin Verlander. The guy still got it. First start of the year, he struck out 9 in 7 strong innings. He's in my opinion, he's still one of the best pitchers in the league. And he still got it. He hasn't lost a single ounce of velocity. He's still throwing it at 98, 99. Sometimes he'll still touch 100, depending on how the adrenaline's pumping in the game. But third up is the Philadelphia Phillies, just adding on Bryce Harper with that monster 13-year, $330 million contract. The Phillies are 4-1. They actually look really good. I actually think the NL East is going to be one of the toughest divisions in terms of who's going to come out of that division and win that division. But with Bryce Harper there, who finally home runned a couple of days ago with a monster blast in Washington, this team is off to a great start, and I think this team will make the playoffs, will make the postseason, and make some noise in the postseason. And lastly, for our first impressions is the Atlanta Braves. They might need to reconsider some things with the bullpen and their starting rotation, because the starting rotation, there's really not that one guy in their starting rotation that is like their ace. They have Sanchez and Newcomb, and they got a couple other guys, but it's just they don't have that star guy like Chris Sale, Verlander. They don't have that star ace that is like their go-to pitcher. And when they need a quality start, they can rely on those players. They can rely on that pitcher for quality starts. Not saying their rotation now is incapable of that, but it's not consistent enough for, they don't get consistent quality starts. And I think that's why Atlanta kind of died out in the postseason last year. But they are the reigning NL East champs. So they're going to be making some noise. They'll be in the hunt for the NL East. I think their batting lineup is stacked. With Acuna Jr., Freeman, Markakis, Josh Donaldson, who they just recently added to that lineup. This team is very, very dangerous, or will be very dangerous when it comes closer to postseason time, because they're going to be a lineup that no one wants to mess with. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button. Recommend me on my Facebook page, Sports Runs on Diesel in all capital letters. I want to thank you for your time and have a good night.